Good morning, day 80, cooking down the freezer. So I still have plenty of food in my freezer, and this week, for some reason, everybody wants to have lunch or dinner or breakfast. So that's great. I love doing things with my friends and family. I always have to turn the camera off when this is done brewing because this Keurig is so loud. So anyway, I haven't done anything with my kids in a while. They're always busy, life. My daughter has 4 kids, and my sons, they work afternoon shift, so it's hard to get together with them. And so I always jump at the opportunity to get together with one of my children. So my daughter and I are going to go to lunch today. So yes, 3 times this week I've gone out to eat, which is very unusual for me. I used to go out quite often, actually, for lunch. I'd meet friends, but ever since the everything got locked down, I guess we all got out of the habit, so we don't get together that often anymore. But so today I'm going to have lunch with my daughter, and I still have that leftover meal from the other day, and it seems like every time I start a video now, my little buddy starts ringing the bell. So I think I've finally gotten everything together for my living room, and I figured out things with the dogs, and I want to make sure that they're comfortable too. But I want it aesthetically pleasing. I don't want a bunch of ugly things around the living room just for the dogs. So I'm waiting for a couple things to arrive yet, and I'm hoping it's going to be a very nice and cozy living room. And my mother, in her basement, she's not using it, has a huge jute macrame hanging that I'm going to ask her if I can have it, and I'm sure she'll let me have it. She's not using it. So I think I'm going to put that on one of my living room walls and take down my gallery pictures. But I'm not sure yet because I'm pretty attached to those pictures. I love looking at my family. So here's my gallery wall, and it goes all the way up to the ceiling. I know, it's a lot of pictures, but they give me so much pleasure. I sit in my living room a lot, and I love looking at all these beautiful faces. So back to the coffee. So I'm trying to find a happy medium between too much clutter and things that are aesthetically pleasing, and I'm definitely not headed toward the minimalist lifestyle, although I love that. I love looking at it, but it's just not me. So anyway, I want to show you my sprouts. Hi, bud. You've been out twice. I don't think you have to go again. Do you? Oh, he's funny. Anyway, these are my sprouts. They're starting to green up now. I didn't think that they would sprout because these seeds have to be at least 5 years old. But it looks like most of them have all sprouted. So I love sprouts on a sandwich or on a salad. So I think those are doing pretty well. My potatoes are still sprouting, and I don't want to cut these until I'm ready to make my potato soup, because I'm just going to cut off the sprouts, and what doesn't have sprouts on it I'm going to cook in potato soup, because I still have some leeks in the freezer that I want to use up. And my violet, I've had this for years, is starting to bloom. And this was one plant, and it turned into 2, And I really should divide them and give them each their own pot, but I guess they like being together. So those are a couple of my projects that I found. And then I found these onions that have actually been in my garage since last year, and some of them are still good, so I'm going to look through those and try and plant a few onions. They didn't do well last year. My onions all seem to rot all the time. I haven't had good luck with them. But anyway, so this is my one window garden. This violet hardly ever blooms. I need to feed them. So anyway, my morning's going to be busy. I'm going to work on my living room a little bit, and we'll see what the day brings. Day 80. Let's see what we can find. All right. Let's see. I have one more roll left that I want to eat up, and I think this afternoon I'm going to make some bread. And I know in here I have this tofu bacon that I made a couple days ago. I'm going to have that. Now I can either have some cheese with it. I still have that sharp cheddar, or I can make, I don't have any tomatoes, but I have this salsa. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to get the mayo, and I'm going to make sort of a BLT, but without the tomato. And here I have some lettuce. So instead of the tomato, I'm going to use the salsa. All right, I will meet you at the stove. All right, well, my daughter couldn't make it for lunch. She was too busy at work. So I just made myself a second cup of coffee, salted caramel. It's the coffee I got at Ollie's, and it's really good. So cheers. So I'm making myself a little brunch here. And since I don't have any tomatoes, and I don't want to open a can of tomatoes because I have this salsa, so I'm just going to put a little bit of the salsa in here. Oh, the equivalent of a couple slices of tomato. And then I'm going to add some mayo. That way the salsa won't be quite as runny. So enough for one sandwich. Maybe I'll make a little more, because I still have quite a bit of tempeh. I don't have any more lettuce except this tiny, tiny bit, but it's just enough for one sandwich. So this is the last of the romaine that I bought a month ago. And I really should go shopping, but I really don't feel like it. But tomorrow is going to be a nice day, and so I don't know, maybe I'll do a little shopping tomorrow. But I still want to cook up what I have going in my freezer. So, all right, there's just a little bit of sauce. Let me taste it. That's good. That's very good. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of sauce on the bottom. And this is probably going to be a messy sandwich, but this would be really good as a salad dressing too. It's very yummy. So if you don't have any tomatoes and you have bacon or whatever, this would even be really good on a burger. So I still have all this tempeh left. So I'll put a generous amount of that on there. And I made that the other day, put a fatter one on, in one of my other videos. So if you want to see how I made that, take a look there. Alright, and then he's back. Then I'm just going to put some lettuce on here. And that should be good. They love lettuce. Alright, so there is my BLT, except it's not bacon, it's tempeh, so it's TLT. And then I just had these crumbles of potato chips that I'm going to have with it. Okay, so there it is, brunch, day 80. Well, I'm finally baking that loaf of bread, so if my bread maker ever broke, I would definitely buy another one. So mine happens to be this Cuisinart. I've had it for a number of years. It's a convection bread maker, and it really does a good job in baking bread. And it comes with a really nice recipe book too. So later on we'll have some bread because I am totally out and I don't want to go to the store today. It's a nice little loaf. Smells good. And this is the first time I tried, it's like the last minute cycle, so it didn't take long at all. So I'm going to give this just a little cut. And this was just a white bread. And see, it's still warm. So let's see. Because it was really quick. Oh, it's got a nice crumb. Let's see how it tastes. I mean, it's not like an artisan bread, it's just white bread. But I'll bet it's good. Alright, let's give it a go. And it would make some small sandwiches, but I didn't want a real big loaf in case I do go shopping. I don't want too much bread because I'm going to buy the rolls again if they have them. Alright, here goes. Ah. It's very tasty. Very good. I would definitely make this again. And I put olive oil in here. So it's a little bit of a moister bread instead of a dry bread. But for as quick as it was, I would definitely make this again. So here's the recipe. I'll also put it at the end of the video. And I made the small loaf. Okay, success. Let's make some dinner. Day 80. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to try to make this tofu fish that I marinated the other day. We'll see how that turns out. So I'm going to use that. And then as a sauce, I'm just going to use the rest of this sauce that I made this morning with mayo and chunky salsa. All right, let's see. I don't have any fresh produce anymore. So let's look in the freezer. And I think I'm going to have some of this frozen broccoli. And these are some crispy dill pickles I want to use up. So I'm going to have some of those. All right, so let's go over to the stove. So I have here the tofu that I seasoned. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I put some seaweed flakes on it and some, I don't even remember what all I put on it, but it has such a flaky texture. I want to see if it's anything at all like fish. So here I have one of my potatoes, and it doesn't have any more eyes, but it has a lot of eyes right here. So I'm just going to cut this off, and then I'm going to let this sit, the potato, for several days until this forms a skin. And then I'm going to plant it and see what happens. Okay, so with the rest of this potato, I was going to make potato soup with all the potatoes, but I changed my mind and I'm only going to make soup with a couple of the potatoes because I don't need that much soup. But with these, I'm going to make these into some sort of wedges, and then I'm going to make some French fries. So I'm just going to cut those. And I'll cut them into wedges. And just make some French fries out of that. And since these are russets, they should make some nice French fries. All right. And I imagine these will probably take about 20 minutes. And then these are the Pickle Chips. They're still a little frozen. I don't remember where I got them. I've had them in the freezer for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and season my fries. And then here I have some panko breadcrumbs, and those are lemon pepper panko breadcrumbs, and those are just breadcrumbs that I bought and had in my pantry. So as you can see, this is very flaky, and I'm just going to coat my fish in this panko. Now this might be terrible, I don't know. But if you don't try different things, you never know, right? Okay, there's one. And then I'm going to put all this in my air fryer. And hopefully, at least it'll be edible. That's the goal. All right. So I'm going to season these fries with something. I'll be back in a minute and let you know. All right, I have this coconut oil that I want to use up because it's from Aldi's, but it sprays terrible, and I really want to get rid of this. There's not much left in there. It's awful. It spits and it makes a mess. So I'm just going to coat my French fries in that, and then I have this from Shaker's Market. I got this salt and vinegar seasoning. So I'm going to put some of that on here. Whoa, that's a lot. Boy, that really came out of there. Alright, and then I'm just going to put everything on my air fryer rack. And hopefully I didn't over salt these, but I'll find out. So I have a few more here. Very messy. And this time I'll be a little more careful. This really needs a shaker with some smaller holes. Okay, I hope I have room for all this, but I have a second rack, so I guess it doesn't really matter. This one's kind of big. I think I'll cut this one again. So I'm using up the potato because I don't want to throw them away. They're still good, but I would like to start seeing if I can grow potatoes. Well, it looks like this whole rack is going to be filled up with potato. Well, I could probably fit my fish on here too. Well, my tofu. It's not fish. My fish-like substance. Alright, I'll be back when this is all cooked up. I'm going to put this all on the French fry setting and see what happens. Keep an eye on it. Alright, well, here is dinner. And I made some more sauce because I figure I'm going to dip everything in this sauce. I really like this with the mayonnaise and salsa. It's really good. Now I have mild salsa in mine, but these pickle chips are really good. I wish I could remember where I got them. But they're gone now, so another thing gone out of the freezer. I cooked my broccoli in the microwave for 3 minutes. Could have been 2.5, but it's good, and I put some complete seasoning and some plant-based butter on it. My French fries are done, but I'm kind of anxious to try this fish, but here it is, dinner, day 80. So let's give this a try. First I'm going to try it without the sauce. So let me bring you up here, and that light is so glary. Sorry for all the moving around. Trying to avoid the light. Okay, let me give this a try just without the sauce. It has a very fish-like texture. I'm surprised. You could very easily substitute this for fish. I did not know that about extra firm silken tofu. I'll buy that again. It doesn't, of course, it doesn't taste exactly like fish. It's not fish, but it's very tasty. So I'm going to try some with some sauce. Yeah, I'm really liking it. And this sauce is really good. So if you want a quick sauce, give it a try. I think that looks like fish, don't you? Really good with the lemon pepper breading. So yeah, I like this. I think it's a success. All right, I'm going to eat my dinner, and I'll be back to say goodbye. So today was a fairly productive day. I made bread, made a couple meals, hung up the last of my valances, put together some cushions, found some couple things on Amazon for the living room and the kitchen, found some brackets for the boards I want to put up in the kitchen. So yeah, it was a pretty productive day today. I like days where I get something done. But I don't like to be busy all the time. So a little resting, a little busyness, that's perfect. So I'm going to go relax now, watch a little TV. So I'm liking YouTube TV instead of the dish. There's more choices of things that I like on there. With Dish you have, the reality shows, which I have no interest in, game shows, shopping, it just goes on. And I really don't have an interest in that, and I'd rather just pay for those things where I do have an interest. So I also got HBO, I have Netflix, Prime, Showtime. So I have to go through now within the next month or so and see which ones I want to keep, because that is expensive, but I'd rather pay for that than pay the same amount and not get anything that I want to watch. And I'm not a big, huge TV watcher, but I do like to watch TV in the evening. It just relaxes me. So anyway, I don't have anything else going on today. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to high 60s, so I'm excited about that. Haven't seen that in quite a while. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.